this morning we're learning how to cook something that you might have never thought about making before. Ansley Watson is at Bobaloon's in Escanaba to tell us what they're whipping up. Good morning, Ansley.
Good morning, Vicki. That's right. We are in Bobaloon's making falafel. Check it out. Those look really fun. So this is originated in the Middle East. It's typically a vegan food where the main ingredient is chickpeas. So I was scrolling on the internet to see what falafel was because I did not know. And I saw pictures where they are deep fried little nuggets, or they could be made into patties. They could be eaten with hummus or some sort of garlic sauce. And so this morning we're going to see how Bobaloon's makes their falafel, and it should be a really good morning. I'm really excited for this. Stay with us. Reporting live in Escanaba, Ansley Watson, TV6 News.
All right, sounds like an interesting treat. Thank you very much, Ansley, as we're starting up the day. You know, earlier this week, it sounded like later on it's going to start really dropping in temperature. This morning we're learning to cook something a little bit different, courtesy of Bobaloon's in Escanaba. Ansley Watson talking about falafel. Good morning, Ansley.
Good morning, Vicki. Have you ever had falafel before?
I haven't, so this is an adventure, yeah.
Yeah, this is very adventurous. I'm very excited for this morning. The owner here, Mark Amel, here at Bobaloon's. Good morning. Thanks for being with us. But Mark, you're also a part of the American Culinary Federation Upper Peninsula chapter. Kind of give us a brief summary of what that is.
It's an organization. It's kind of a fraternal organization, but it's aimed at education and accreditation. So you go from cooking, learning to cook, maybe you start washing dishes or somewhere, and you go through this and you can do your educational segments and eventually earn accreditation as maybe a chef de cuisine or certified executive chef, things like that.
Very interesting. So this morning we're making falafel. You're going to show us how it's done. What are you doing right now?
Mincing garlic.
And so this is, I'm guessing, a key ingredient to the falafel. What is falafel, really?
Falafel is a little savory deep-fried patty, essentially.
Okay.
It's based with garbanzo beans.
And those are, I thought this was very interesting. This is the pre-boiled, pre-cooked version of those beans before they get, do you boil them?
Yep.
Okay.
You boil them and simmer them, and it takes several hours to cook them down and rehydrate them, and then you pop them in the bowl, and then we add diced onions.
This is a very, I read that it's a vegan dish, correct? And it's a very protein-oriented dish as well.
Yes, the bean content is high in protein. It is a vegetarian, or if prepared properly, it's a vegan dish. You just have to make sure you keep it away from everything else. And when you serve it, you can't serve it with the dairy sauce, which we do here with the sour cream base. You would serve it with the tahini sauce. That makes it vegan.
Okay.
So we have to make all our vegan people feel safe. So.
Now this originated in the Middle East. Is this a very common thing to eat then?
It is. It's a very common thing you'll find in the Middle East or on college campuses.
What is that? It's just easy. What makes the popularity of it?
Essentially, it's different. It's new, and or I shouldn't say it's new. It's just from somewhere else. So your college population is more likely to try indigenous foods from around the world. So.
Now, when you serve it here at Bobaloon's, how do you serve it?
We serve it in a pita, generally wrapped up with the sauce and some tomatoes and some onions and some pickles and some greens, and that's a traditional serving style. We'll also do it on a bed of greens and use the cucumber sauce as a dressing for a salad if you like it that way, if you're trying to cut back on your carbs, things like that. Or we'll serve it in a basket, which is essentially the pita deconstructed, and you don't get the pita. So
this is smelling amazing, this lemon zest. You don't use the juice, you just
I'm actually just doing it to make it smell good. It's not important.
Well, it does smell good,
right?
I will give you that.
So, but yeah, we don't use the juice in it, just the zest, so you get that nice flavor. Brightens it up a little bit.
It is very colorful as well. So once you're done with this, what's the next step?
The next step is to mix it all together and grind it. So we've got some of that. Throw that in a bowl real quick. Lots of onions, lots of garlic, makes it fun. We have to do a little bit of parsley. I'll make this quick.
If people don't have a grinder at home, what would be the best option to do this? How would you do it?
Food processor. If you have a food processor, that's your best bet, and just pulse it. You don't want it to get it overly fine. You want it kind of coarse still.
Well, that smells great too.
So you just kind of do some of this a little bit.
How many do you say this would make? Pretty big batch.
That's a really hard question. I've never actually counted.
Oh.
Let's go with 53.
I love it.
That's pretty good to me. So then we'll bring that over here and make sure we're on high. And put it this way so we can see.
Oh my goodness, they look like little worms.
Right? Little vegan worms, though.
So then once what do? You smash it up? You said they're kind of more patty-like whenever you get them from here.
So we'll get it to this stage.
This is very intriguing to watch.
I don't know how interesting this part is.
And then you deep fry them?
Yeah. So what we'll do is, if you want to grab that little bowl there.
Excuse me.
We will add that. So that's got our seasonings in it.
And what's in here?
And, well, if I tell you all of them.
Oh, it's a secret. I'm sorry.
Right?
Yes, you do not need to do that.
This would be your last sign off you ever do. Put you right through the grinder.
But you want me to put this in here?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Why don't you do that? No, down here.
Oh, whoops, I just messed
You
up.
almost got fired on your first day.
Jeez Louise.
Okay, so we put that all in there. Yep. And I'm doing something I shouldn't be doing. Let me have that.
Okay, Mark, well, when we come back, we will finish this up. We'll see the final product of your falafel, and I'm really excited to see how this turns out. This has been a very interesting process for sure. Stay with us. Reporting live in Escanaba, Ansley Watson, TV6 News.
All right, interesting process. Thanks, Ansley. And, you know, all good stuff in there, so I'm ready to try one.
Yeah, vegan worms.
Nummy.
Nah, now kids will never want to try it.
Yeah, what is it?
It was, you said it right, it looked more like a Play-Doh mixer, so
Yeah,
that's more fun.
That's a lot of fun. I love
Yes.
Play-Doh mixers.
People are going to start eating Play-Doh, though. That's the other end
No,
of it.
no, they're not. They know better.
Don't do that.
Now,
Welcome back. Bobaloons in Escanaba has been showing us how to make a Middle Eastern specialty, the falafel. Ansley Watson is learning the ins and outs on how these little fritters are made. Good morning, Ansley.
Good morning, Sam. Would you eat one of these? I'm curious.
I'd let you eat one.
Okay, well, we're bringing some back for you to try, that's for sure. Joining me this morning is the owner of Bobaloons, Mark Amel. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, falafel. Go ahead and tell us again what exactly it is.
Falafel is made from ground chickpeas and diced onions and minced garlic and parsley and seasonings and some flour, and you ball that up together like this.
Make it a little disc.
Yeah, and then we'll fry it.
And then what do you typically eat it with?
We prefer to traditionally serve it in warm pita bread with some sauce and some vegetables, your cucumbers, your tomatoes, some onions, some pickle strips, celery, salt, and some greens. It can be served in a basket sans the pita, and then we'll put some Greek olives in there to make it look nice. Or we can put it on a bed of greens for a salad, and then you use that same sauce as your dressing.
Now, earlier, whenever we were doing the first segment, you put all the ingredients in, kind of go over what exactly more was in there.
What more was in there aside? Okay, so
You had the chickpeas.
we had chickpeas, we had garlic, minced that all up, fresh parsley minced up. We grated some lemon zest in there, brighten up the flavors a little bit, and then we've got the mix of seasonings in there and some flour, and the flour is just to bind it together. Let me sneak over here real quick.
We're frying some up right
Those guys
now.
are done.
And these
So-
are looking really pliable. I guess it's
Yep.
the chickpea that kind of does that.
Yep. It's almost like a little dough.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
And then we just pop them in the fryer.
And those
just,
fried pretty easily, pretty
yeah.
fast.
you know, and just like real cooking shows, voila, they're done.
They look great.
So we'll put these three little guys here.
Well, as those are getting done, Mark, talk to me about Oktoberfest. This is taking place this weekend in Escanaba.
This Saturday. So we're doing the whole segment up here right now in this part of the kitchen because the back's kind of devoted to getting things ready for Oktoberfest, which is the Upper Peninsula's premier wine and beer tasting festival. So we'll have about 1,000 attendees there, and we'll have free hors d'oeuvres for everybody. There'll be beers from 70 plus beers from several different vendors, and a large variety of wines and meads for those non-beer drinkers. So that's our 11th year doing this, and it's a fundraiser for the United Way of Delta County.
Very nice, very nice. And you will be there, Bobaloons will be there.
We'll be there roasting pigs and chickens and bratwursts, all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah, that sounds great.
All kinds of cheeses.
So now what's this?
So this is how we traditionally serve this. Is we'll put a little bit of the cucumber sauce, which is a sour cream base, and it has cucumbers in it, obviously. and some onions, and some tomatoes. And then we'll put a few greens on there to make it nice. And if I can reach right over here and grab the celery salt just for a little zip.
Man, that looks fabulous. Do you find that a lot of people tend to gear towards falafel? It's something that I don't think a lot of people have heard of or know
It's
about.
a really nice option for people seeking a vegetarian meal because it's still very filling. And then if you do it without the pita, or we use one of the gluten-free ones we have, the flour I use in here is actually a garbanzo bean flour as well, so it's actually a gluten-free falafel. So if you have a wheat allergy, we can actually make something that you can enjoy without the wheat problem. So
Very nice, very nice. Was there anything else you'd like to say about falafel being here at Bobaloon's?
no, it's great to have you guys down here. Thanks to the American Culinary Federation of the UP chapter for coming down here so we get to do this little preview and show you some falafel, and
Absolutely.
we'll see you next time with a different chef.
Well, I am going to sign out and then take a bite of this because this is looking tasty. Reporting live in Escanaba, Ansley Watson, and we'll be back with more of your TV6 Morning News after the break.